Hi, everybody. It's Scott Leckie from Democracy Tomorrow. Before the most recent election, in February 2025, the Parliament adopted a law called the Electoral Legislation Amendment, Electoral Reform Act 2025. And on February 2025, it received royal assent. It only enters into force on the 1st of July 2026, so it did not apply to this election. But this is all about funding and disclosure rules regarding the financing of political parties and political campaigns. And we need to remember that, I think in an ideal world, publicly financed political campaigns would probably be the best way to go. And the full and complete removal of private money from politics would be highly beneficial to improving democracy. What do you think about that? Let's remember for a moment what happened in the United States elections in November 2024. You will not believe how much money was spent in that country just on that one election. 15.9 billion US dollars. That is approximately 5 times the entire annual budget, the operating budget of the United Nations Secretariat, just for starters. And we all know the result of that. I won't go into that at the moment, but I just want to outline briefly what the new rules are in Australia concerning financing operations, donations to political parties and political campaigns. So now there's an annual cap on donations of 50,000 Australian dollars in a calendar year by one person who is contributing to a single recipient, 50,000. There's a 250,000 cap on donations within a single state or territory in a calendar year. And there's an overall donation cap, which is 32 times the annual donation cap in a calendar year for a person to multiple recipients totaling 1.6 million Australian dollars, about 1 million US dollars. So those are the general limits, and there are others applied to individual people that want to make donations. There's also expenditure caps, and this to me is in many respects more interesting. The expenditure caps are as follows. A registered political party and its members at the federal level have a cap set of $90 million for, I presume, a federal election. So that's all that individual political parties are allowed to spend in their entirety throughout the entire campaign. The divisional cap, which I presume is seats, individual seats, is 800,000 Australian dollars, about 500,000 US dollars. And for the Senate, it's 200,000 multiplied by the number of divisions in that state or territory. So there's a lot more detail to this law, and you can look it up online. But just to make the point that this is what the government, the Parliament of Australia has decided to do. It's not perfect at all. I'm not saying that it is, but it is something to look at in terms of applying that logic to other electorates in the world. Do we truly want to allow unfettered private contributions to the political process and in the end get results that are clearly favorable to those who donate the most? Do we really want a system of donation and then reward if the candidate backed wins office? Is that truly what we want? Do we truly think that will build democracy? Or are there other ways? Let me know what you think. And just to reiterate, personally, I believe we should publicly finance election campaigns. Some sort of system and scheme needs to be developed. I'm sure that we can look for examples globally where this happens. I know it used to happen in the Netherlands. I don't know if it still does. I think the percentage of vote that your party got in the last election determined the percentage of public funding that you received for the next election. Some sort of scenario like that. I could easily be wrong, but it was some sort of arrangement like that. I don't know if that still applies, but I'm sure there's other cases where public financing is standard. Maybe it's the norm. At any rate, those are the latest rules in Australia. So the next election, 2028, if these rules are complied with in full, each political party will not be able to spend more than 90 million Australian dollars, about 60 million US dollars. So compared to the nearly 16 billion US dollars, which is 25 billion or something Australian dollars, we have a fundamentally different situation. Anyway, that's the latest. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe and like, and we'll see you next time at Democracy Tomorrow.